The brave little Firefly and the Forest of Shadows. Once upon a time, in a magical forest filled with towering trees, sparkling streams, and flowers that glowed softly at night, there lived a tiny firefly named Luma. Luma was no ordinary firefly. She had the brightest light anyone had ever seen. But despite her brilliant glow, she often felt small and insignificant compared to the vastness of the forest. Every evening, all the creatures of the forest would gather near the great oak tree for storytelling hour. Rabbits, squirrels, hedgehogs, and even wise old owls would share tales of adventure, bravery, and friendship. Yet, whenever it was Luma's turn to speak, she hesitated. "What could I possibly say?" she thought. "I'm just a little firefly." One chilly autumn night, as golden leaves swirled through the air, an unexpected visitor arrived, a shadowy figure cloaked in darkness. It wasn't scary like a monster. Instead, it seemed lost and lonely. The animals whispered among themselves, unsure what to do. "Who are you?" asked Oliver, the curious squirrel. "I am Shade," replied the figure softly. "I come from the Forest of Shadows, where everything is dark and cold. My home has been overtaken by sadness because we've forgotten how to shine. I've traveled far to find someone who can help us remember." The animals looked at one another nervously. None of them knew how to bring light to such a dark place. That's when shy little Luma fluttered forward. "I'll go," she said, quietly but firmly. The other animals gasped. "But Luma, you're so small," chirped Bella, the robin. "How will you make a difference?" Luma smiled gently. "Even the smallest light can guide others out of the dark." And so, with courage in her heart and her glowing light leading the way, Luma set off on her journey to the Forest of Shadows. Along the way, she encountered many challenges. Winding paths that disappeared into thick fog, icy winds that tried to blow out her flame, and whispers of doubt that echoed around her. "You're too weak to save us," the shadows hissed. But Luma remembered something her grandmother once told her. Kindness and courage are stronger than any fear. So she kept flying, determined to reach those who needed her most. When she finally arrived in the Forest of Shadows, it was darker than anything she'd ever imagined. Trees loomed silently, their branches bare and lifeless. Not a single creature stirred. But then, Luma noticed faint glimmers scattered across the ground, tiny sparks of light buried beneath layers of ash and despair. Carefully, she began to nudge each spark awake with her own light. One by one, they flickered back to life, revealing dozens of fireflies, beetles, and glowworms who had given up hope long ago. As more lights joined together, the forest started to change. Colors returned to the trees, laughter echoed through the air, and warmth spread throughout the land. Shade watched in awe as his home transformed before his eyes. "Thank you, Luma," he said, tears glistening in his gaze. "You reminded us that even in the darkest times, we carry our own light within us." With her mission complete, Luma returned to her forest, greeted by cheers from her friends. From that day on, she never doubted herself again. She realized that being brave didn't mean having no fears. It meant facing them anyway. And being kind didn't require grand gestures. It simply meant sharing your light with others. Moral of the story: no matter how small you feel, your kindness and courage can brighten the world for someone else. Everyone has a light inside them, and together we can chase away even the deepest shadows.